Hello and welcome to COVID-19 Local Impact on Your TV. I'm Dan Malta from the Your TV studios in Peterborough. 15 cases of COVID-19 in Peterborough City and County, Hiawatha and Curve Lake First Nations have been removed from the Peterborough Public Health Unit's website due to false positive tests, bringing the total number of confirmed positive cases down from 84 to 69. We'll now take a deeper look into the Peterborough numbers of COVID-19. So as noted, the confirmed positive cases in Peterborough, 69, confirmed negative 2,798, 829 under investigation, 3 deaths. 47 of those 69 confirmed positive cases have been resolved. In the city of Kawartha Lakes, 142 confirmed cases, 8 hospitalizations, 103 resolved, 32 confirmed deaths as part of 3 confirmed outbreaks. And again, no change to the numbers out of Northumberland. 13 confirmed cases, 13 resolved cases. One of those was a hospitalization. We're all in this together rings true for Peterborough politicians. Mayor Diane Therrien speaks with host Paul Rellinger of Your TV's Peterborough Matters about Minister Miriam Monsef and MP Dave Smith staying in regular communication with her. She's confident they're working for Peterborough's best interests.
It's going to be a tough conversation, and municipalities only have so many revenue tools. You know, we don't have the same array of things that the province and the feds do. And so when we talk about the programs that are rolling out at the provincial and federal level, they've been, again, going back to the theme we were talking about earlier in the program about cooperation. MPP Smith and MP Monsef have both been very receptive to feedback they've been getting from, not me, like I'm not a small business owner, but from folks in the community that have said, you know, the eligibility criteria for the CERB or for the rent relief are restrictive in this way. They've been really good at saying, okay, we're going to bring that back and try to fix it. Again, going on the fact that everybody's responding to this in rapid succession. And these programs were rolled out in a matter of weeks when normally it would take years to sort of roll that out.
Based on what you know, Diana, and what you've kind of experienced up to this point, what the municipality has experienced, are you confident that assistance will be there from the province and from the feds in some form to help out the municipality?
I mean, I think, yes, I'm optimistic because all 444 municipalities across Ontario, and then however many, I don't know how many thousand there are across the country, are in the same boat. And we are lucky in Ontario that our provincial municipal affairs and housing minister, Steve Clark, was a former mayor. So he understands the realities that were faced at the municipal level. Again, you know, in Ontario, the province is our sort of governing structure, but I know that the Federation of Canadian Municipalities has been doing a lot of work to try to ensure that the federal government also knows that we are in need. And they do, and they are the ones that have the ability to leverage, you know, income taxes in an equitable way and put those taxes on the 1% and close those loopholes. Where if we did that, we could fund all of these programs and, you know, and get a lot of good things done.
For the full interview, watch Peterborough Matters on Your TV tomorrow night. That's Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. The Peterborough Outdoor Market on Aylmer and Simcoe has noticed a decrease in vendors this season as some are not essential services. Your TV's Mary Tendeshat speaks with Ralph Polak, the owner of Carolina's Columbia Coffee. He's changed the way he runs his business from importing coffee to selling locally.
A large part of our sales were the brewed coffee also, so that's completely gone. We supply a number of cafes and restaurants in town, so all of that is completely shut down. And so all the sales right now are to individual homes, either at the market or pickups, or we can do deliveries as we offer on our website. For the first 2 or 3 weeks, I think people wondered, how bad is this going to be? Are we going to be completely shut down? So we had 5 and 10 pound bags of coffee we were rolling out. And I know some of the roasters I supply were in the same boat. They're going, hey, get us more coffee. It's going like toilet paper.
Polak says about 2/3 of his business has been affected by the coronavirus pandemic.
Another large part of our business is the unroasted coffee. You can see we had to get to scale to bring coffee from Colombia. You have to work at a shipping container level. And so we have a number of roasters that buy unroasted coffee throughout Ontario. And it's interesting the impact on them.
Polak says his largest customer supplies restaurants and cafes, and they are down to 20%.
Our second biggest customer provides grocery stores with their coffee, and their sales have actually increased. Like, we really have a yearly cycle because the harvest in our region is once a year, and coffee when it comes unroasted, it's a lot like rice, so it's fairly inert. Nobody's really worried about the freshness of it at the end of 1 year. My second container this year is in Columbia right now, ready to come, and we're exploring manners to delay it a little bit longer. And part of that was needed because Columbia completely shut down their businesses for a while.
He says he is not concerned about his coffee transporting the virus from Columbia.
So something that goes in a shipping container and goes across the Atlantic for 10 days, and then on rail from Halifax into Peterborough, and then it's in these plastic bags inside jute bags. I'm not too concerned about a virus being on anything on the coffee.
Polak says this is not the first time his coffee shipment has been delayed recently.
The one container was coming up, but in the boat in Atlantic had a hurricane, and we got diverted back to Jamaica. So we were really running out of coffee, and so that put a wrinkle in things. And the first container that came this year, there was the native blockade. And so our container was sitting in Quebec for a month waiting to get through that.
Polak has been able to continue developing new blends during the pandemic using his lab roaster.
Let's see how it comes out. That's always the beautiful part, when all this effort and work and finally, boom, these brown, lovely smelling coffee beans fall into the tray. It looks really nice.
It does look nice.
Trent University has provided $675,000 in emergency funding to more than 1,200 students, including domestic, international, undergraduate, and graduate students who are experiencing financial hardship as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic. Your TV volunteer and Trent University student, Zach Hatton, is one of those students utilizing the emergency funding.
I saw on social media that the Alumni Association had donated, I believe it was $10,000 to provide emergency student relief. And as someone who is still working, but I'm trying to save up for law school because I'm starting at Swansea University hopefully in the fall, it is growing more challenging because my work hours have been reduced. So I heard about it and I got excited about it, and then we got an email from the staff at Trent University that encouraged us to apply on our student portal.
Hatton says the application process wasn't difficult to work through.
The application process was really quite easy. It was just a button on the My Trent portal, and I clicked on it, and it was a 2-minute application process. It just asked me if I was living at home, if I had any dependents, what I really needed the money for, and if I was willing to pay it back, as well as how much money I felt I needed.
In the application process, students choose to apply for a grant or a loan, which will impact the total sum.
I actually opted to receive the money in a grant format instead of a loan. So actually I'm assuming that if I had checked the loan option, I would have maybe gotten slightly more money, but our funds get put on our student account and we have the option to get it back. And I got it back and put it in a savings account because, as I say, I'm saving for law school. So there was an option to get a loan, but at this point, with the imbalance of my hours at work, I didn't think that I was in the position that I could take on another loan at the moment. So it's nice that for students who necessarily don't have the means to pay it back at the moment, we're still kind of included in the process.
All the best to Zach and other Trent students as they work through this. It's Canadian Mental Health Week, and Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced the province will invest $12 million in virtual online mental health support for Ontarians struggling with mental health during the pandemic.
Some have lost their jobs. Some have lost their customers. Some have had deeper losses. A father, a mother, a grandparent, a friend. That kind of grief and stress, it has an impact, not only on our physical health, but on our mental health too. At a time when we all must practice physical distancing, it can be isolating, not seeing family or friends for weeks. It can be isolating, not having anyone call or check in. It can seem like you're going through the emotions, trying to get through each day when each day looks the same. It creates stress, anxiety, and depression. So if you're listening to this, my message to you is simple. You're not alone. We will support you. We will get through this together. It's more important than ever to reach out, to check on our seniors, and to make sure we're taking care of each other. During this time of physical distancing, let's continue to stay in touch. That's how we'll beat this virus. And my friends, the good news is help is here. To support those struggling with mental health during these difficult times, our government has invested $12 million into virtual and online mental health supports. And this week, we're rolling out expanded access to those critical supports at no cost to patients. These mental health supports can be accessed safely from home. You can take an assessment and receive support from a therapist. And we know many of our frontline heroes need support too. They're the ones in the trenches. They're the ones working 12-hour shifts. Their jobs can be stressful and demanding, but every day they get up and they go to work. They help people and save lives. They're absolute heroes. They're superheroes, if you ask me. And I can't thank them enough for everything they do, day in and day out. They take care of us, and we're going to make sure we take care of them too. These new virtual mental health supports will also be available to our frontline workers whenever they need it. We've been working closely with our hospitals and Ontario Health to deliver these supports, including online peer support groups and access to mental health workers. We'll make sure everyone has the support they need to stay well in mind and body, because mental health is health. Thank you, stay well, and God bless the people of Ontario.
Ford also comments on what the upcoming long weekend could look like for cottage and seasonal dwelling owners.
So on May the 24th, 3 weeks down the road, hopefully the numbers will be down. And keep in mind, Christina, you nailed it. You said there's been no order. And to all the mayors up north, you've done an incredible job, but the people that own cottages have done an incredible job too. We've asked them to stay away, and for the most part, people have stayed away just on asking. So the people of Ontario are incredible. You know, you ask them, please stay away, they stay away. But there's no order, on the table right now, and there won't be. People are cooperating. So we have to give it a little bit of leniency. If you put down the hammer and say you just aren't coming, well, people aren't going to listen. I want to make sure we get collaboration from all the communities and all the mayors. Be prepared. People are coming up on May the 24th, but in saying that, I truly believe that the people are going to bring their own supplies, they're going to bring their own food, they're going to stay at their cottage. People won't be going into town as much as a typical May 24th weekend, but let's see what happens. I could be wrong, but I just don't see there's going to be a massive issue 3 weeks down the road.
As COVID-19 local impact continues on your TV, we'll take a look at what's going on in Northumberland. Welcome back to COVID-19 local impact on your TV. I'm Dan Malta. Safety for clients and drivers with Community Care Northumberland's transportation service is the #1 priority for the organization. Your TV's Mark Rockburn asks Executive Director Trish Baird what measures are in place to protect them.
One of the biggest safety precautions that you had to take as an organization is you do, as you stated, do a lot of driving of clients to appointments, healthcare appointments. How much of a change or how quickly were you able to get measures put in place to make sure that not only is the driver safe, but also the client that you're picking up, taking them to their appointment is safe as well, and still feel safe going to that appointment with the driver?
Right. And that's one of the main reasons why we've stopped our volunteer driving service is we didn't feel that we could keep both our clients and our volunteers safe in that service. So we have just using our vehicles, they're vans, so they are large enough that we can keep people physically distanced. We do have some equipment for our drivers, but there is a very big shortage of personal protective equipment. So we have gloves and hand sanitizer for our drivers. We do have some masks available too. Now, most of our clients are going to places where they are screened on a regular basis. Now, we do certainly screen them around do they have a cough, are they exhibiting any symptoms? And then we follow the directives of the health unit of Public Health Ontario around getting connected with an assessment center. But we certainly, our drivers practice all of those physical distancing, but also the cleaning of the vehicles. So after every person has been in the vehicle, they're making sure they're wiping down any of the surfaces and keeping everybody safe. Some of our drivers have chosen to not drive because they may be in their own compromised position or because of their age. And we've respected that and encouraged them if they don't feel comfortable driving, then that doesn't happen until this will be over.
If people are in need of your services, that any of the services that you offer, are you still able to help them out? And if so, in what way? And how can they get in touch with people that they may need help of Community Care Northumberland?
Sure. We're trying to direct people. We have either by phone or computer. So if you're by phone, if you know the local phone number, please phone there. Our offices are closed to the general public, but we do have some staff working, maybe 1 or 2 in each office. They are checking messages on a regular basis. So phone there, or they can phone our 800 number, which is, I can repeat now if you like, 866-514-4774. Or if they go online to our website, there is the ability to connect with us through the website.
Northumberland Peterborough South MPP David Piccini has been hosting virtual town halls through Zoom in communities around his riding. Piccini tells Your TV it has been great to hear from constituents at the grassroots level.
It's been a great opportunity for me to connect with voters in Northumberland, Peterborough South, with our constituents, ensuring that we get a broad perspective, businesses, farmers, individuals, etc. And it's been a good experience to date. The first one was in Brighton with Mayor Ostrander, and I've reached out to our municipalities to co-host. We have municipal staff, we've got councillors, the mayors, folks within the community, and it gives us an opportunity to really drill down into the specifics on the downtown core, let's say of a Brighton or of a Campbellford, a Hastings. Last night we had the latest one with Trent Hill's Mayor Bob Crate. A great opportunity to discuss, and we do start to see some of those nuances. You know, a bit of campground, some RV, cottaging, etc. came up last night. We see that more into the Trent Hills area. And we had some good conversations about businesses. We talked about some of the business loans available, the rent supports, commercial rent supports for businesses. We talked a bit about some of the non-for-profits and how they were coping. Individual testing. We had an update from the hospital last night. I was very pleased to have have Verouge, the CEO from Campbellford Memorial Hospital, on to provide an update as well. So it was a great opportunity for residents to hear from a variety of individuals and just on the measures that are being taken. And it's key in difficult times like this that you have accurate and reliable information that's communicated. And we were able to do that. And I got some great feedback. And as always, I mean, there were the odd question or two that I wasn't able to answer, and it gives me some important follow-up work to do today. So it was good. They're getting bigger. They're growing. And I hope more people sign up and join, because they've been a really good discussion, focused discussion, and a great opportunity to engage with your councillors, your mayor, your MPP, hospitals, etc.
Is the general public able to participate in these, David, or is it invite only?
Anyone can participate. I publicly broadcast this. And again, I mean, we've been looking at opportunities through you as the first opportunity I've really had to really put this out via TV. And you know, so I appreciate any and all opportunity. It is open for anyone. And the nice thing about Zoom is if you don't have that internet capability or the computer, you can call in. So we provide all of that. We just ask folks to register. I mean, while to date I haven't turned anybody down. Obviously, you want to make sure you're zeroing in on that community, and we're able to have that focused discussion. And I'm getting to every community and First Nations throughout this riding, so it's going to take place where we'll be able to talk to everybody. And that's going to be very important for me, and absolutely anyone can sign up. They're more than welcome.
To hear more about the virtual town halls and to keep up to date on what's happening in the riding of Northumberland, Peterborough South, tune into Queen's Park Report every Thursday at 7 p.m. in the Northumberland viewing region. Vinnie's Thrift Shop relies on sales to generate revenue for the St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry, and on Monday, Vinnie's began accepting donations of clothing and household items to ensure there is stock when the store is able to reopen.
We closed all 3 store locations in March when everybody else shut down. And just recently, we have had a huge demand of people calling, wanting to drop off their donations. Everybody's been home and cleaning out their closets and cupboards, and they want to move this stuff out of their house. So we kind of went with a protocol of only one person touching the donations. And it was volunteers who stepped up and said, let's just take donations. So starting this week, we are taking donations at Vinnie's on Erskine. All donations will be quarantined. They'll be quarantined probably for a week before we get to them. That way we are safe and our employees are safe. And Lakefield will be accepting donations this Saturday from 12 till 3. So noon to 3 in Lakefield. And the reason for doing this is we need to be ready to go when this is all over and we can open up the stores, so we do have donations to put on the shelves. Again, like those donations are what feeds the food bank, which is up and running still. We have not closed our food bank at all. And so we are down there at the food bank serving our community. So we need those donations. Government funding, they have been very good. Food Banks Canada has been helping us. Kawartha Food Share has been great with supplying us. So we just keep opening the door, and we're spending some of the money that we had saved up for a rainy day. And this is the rainy day. So that's deplenishing quickly. What we've kind of figured out is we'll take one car at a time. The people will unload onto our truck. And once our truck is full, we will move it and quarantine that whole area for a week. The demand has been huge since we closed. So we're hoping 3 will be enough. If not, we have people who want to step up and do something. So if we have to put them into the mix, we will.
Yesterday, more than 150 bags of clothing were collected. They'll continue accepting donations Mondays to Fridays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, do you know someone who has gone above and beyond to help others during the pandemic? Tell us their story in the comments section below the post on our Facebook page for a chance to win them dinner on us at a local restaurant. Don't forget to share the post to celebrate the heroes in your community. 5 winners will be drawn each Monday through June 1st with a prize value of $100. Now, something else to consider celebrating. It's hard to do so at this time, but I'll take this chance to remind you the 5th of May is Cinco de Mayo. We speak with Martin Carvajal from La Mesita Restaurante in downtown Peterborough about the significance of the holiday and how people can celebrate locally.
I came to Canada in 2014. I realized that there was no Mexican food in the Peterborough area at all. So after a while, I had a stall at the farmers market, and it got to be really popular. I was the only one doing any kind of Latino food in all the market. And people were always asking, where's your spot? Where's your spot? So whenever we had a chance, we opened it here. We are located at 229 Hunter Street West in downtown Peterborough. And in this location, we have been open for 2 years. We're serving Mexican food in the area. We have been doing it for 10. Well, the thing is, when the States took that space of Mexico, many Mexicans were left behind the border. They didn't cross the border crossed them. And they didn't have too many things to celebrate their Mexican heritage. So they keep very strongly believing on Cinco de Mayo. So that's why they celebrate it, because that's the way to keep in touch with their roots. It's like a St. Patrick's. Everybody wants to have a good excuse to have a good time, and I'm okay with that. And a lot of people has been calling to pre-order and to have some Mexican food, which I'm very grateful. And that's also a good excuse for them to try real Mexican food, no Tex-Mex. And hopefully that will attract more customers eventually, right?
So happy Cinco de Mayo. I hope you're able to enjoy some fresh Mexican food. For Your TV, I'm Dan Malta, and we'll see you tomorrow.